Hi, welcome to another video, my second one. So I thought I'd keep this going. Why not indeed? So I'm going to do another weekend listens video. So much the same as before, but I've thrown in a couple of extras, things I got off Discogs recently. So we'll see how this goes. So weekend listens, just to remind, is literally as it says on the tin. It's what I listen to over weekends. It's when I do most of my listening. So I just feel it's a good time to sort of to show off what I've picked. So let's go through them all. So first of all, we've got Chicken Shack. This is 100-ton chicken. Excuse the record shop sticker, which I popped on the plastic there. It's not on the actual sleeve. This is a UK original on Blue Horizon Records. Chicken Shack were like pretty much everything on Blue Horizon, a UK blues-based band. On this one, they do seem to be moving away from the blues a little bit. They're experimenting a little bit more, and as time went on, like most bands of that era that were rooted in the blues, they seem to experiment a little bit more with other styles. But nonetheless, there are a lot of bluesy tracks on it. Fantastic vocals, fantastic guitar playing from Stan Webb. It's a great album, nice one to have that. Next up, we have got Sons of Kemet, Your Queen is a Reptile. This is actually a double album on Impulse Records. It's not, I don't know how related to the original Impulse they are. I doubt it's related at all, to be honest with you. This is a modern jazz record, absolutely fantastic stuff. More going towards the Afrobeat style. Real tribal rhythms. It's just percussion, tuba providing the bass, really deep throbbing bass on this, and then another horn player. It's really great stuff, really good indeed. So next up we have Matt Berry, Phantom Birds. If you don't know who Matt Berry is, he is probably more well known as a comedy actor. He's been around for several years, but he also has a very prolific musical career. When I tell people that he does music, a lot of people just immediately assume it's going to be comedy. It's going to be comedy music. That's not the case at all. He is a serious musician, and he's done all sorts of genres, all sorts of different stuff. Kind of folky stuff, psychedelia. He did an album that was just purely two sides of ambient. It's wonderful stuff. This particular one is a more stripped back acoustic based album. I just want to call it like a more singer-songwriter album, but it's lovely. It's on white vinyl, and because I pre-ordered it at the time, you may have spotted when I held it up, it is signed by the great man himself. So yeah, if you haven't heard Matt Berry, check him out. Right, now we have A Better Land. This is by Brian Auger's Oblivion Express. This is a UK first pressing on Polydor. Sleeve is a little bit rugged around the edges, but the vinyl is very nice. So anyone who knows Brian Auger may be aware that he's kind of like a funky organ player. He's been described before as the godfather of acid jazz. However, this particular record is so far removed from his typical style of the late 60s and early 70s. He's got pretty much his same band together and created what can only be described as a much more singer-songwriter, almost country-ish sounding record. It's largely acoustic, not a lot of his organ on it at all, it's more piano. And all the lead vocals, it does sound like it's the whole band singing them as like a three-part harmony. And that, I was listening to it last night, and that's the whole lead vocal all the way through. So it sounds absolutely nothing like his other releases. It just sounds like a completely different band. Very good nonetheless, very good. I don't really know how else to describe that one. It is a weird one. So far removed. Right, next one for later on when this video is uploaded. Cure, The Head on the Door. I think this is a lot more of a common record. I don't think I need to go too much into it. Many people know what it sounds like. I have to say it's more one of their more happy and upbeat releases. Yeah, the albums leading up to this, there's one called Pornography, was unbelievably sort of doomy, and it's probably more in the vein of what people think of The Cure. But this one it's kind of like a sort of power pop album almost, but very, very good indeed. So that's a nice original copy. Gonna listen to Joe Jackson, Look Sharp. So this was just a UK original, very easy to find, always very cheap. I'm on a Joe Jackson kick at the moment. I was privileged to see him last weekend. He played here in his hometown, Portsmouth, UK, at the Guildhall. It's the first time I ever saw him, and he was off the scale good. He was absolutely fantastic. He could sing better than ever. He's just turned 68. He was 68, I think, a couple of days ago actually, and his vocals were. You think that so many vocalists over the years, their vocals are inevitably going to deteriorate. This is not the case with Joe. It was. I don't know how he did it. It was so powerful. His backing band were incredible. The musicianship was amazing. Yeah, so I came away. I've always liked Joe Jackson. I listen to him a lot anyway, but I'm on a real kick. I think I might sort of go for a spate of listening to his albums in chronological order. The albums I've got anyway, I haven't actually got all of them. I've got probably 2/3 of them. I do need to get more of the later ones, but yeah, it's a good one to start on. And just to round up quickly, I'm just going to show you a couple of recent Discogs purchases. I do use Discogs a lot. I like Discogs. It gets good and bad press. I understand why. I think, like most collectors, I do prefer buying my things in the wild, going out to record shops, record fairs, supporting your local business. There's more of a thrill. However, I can't get exactly what I want all of the time by doing that. So if something's on Discogs for a good price and it looks like a good deal, I will go for it. Unfortunately, these are all right. I can't comment too much on the actual music because I haven't played any of them. They're all going into a backlog because I buy too many. So I never tend to play anything that I get the same day, the same week, sometimes even the same month. So we've got the shirts. It's a UK original on Harvest Records. I'm very keen on their first album, their first self-titled album. That one's called Streetlight Shine. They seem to not get the credibility that they deserve. They were part of the CBGB scene in New York, and as opposed to bands like Blondie or Television, for example, who have received quite rightly good recognition for years and years, this band, despite the fact that they're great, do not receive that recognition at all. I suppose the good news is that their records are very, very easy to find and always very cheap on Discogs. Do not pay more than, say, £5 UK for them if you fancy checking them out. Next up is Grow Up, The Best Thing. This is the only release by this band. I've got absolutely no idea what they sound like, but I am a collector of this label called Object Music. It was released in 1979, so it's going to be post-punk, and this was very much a proper independent label from Manchester of that time. Didn't have a huge amount of releases, but what I've heard on there is very good, so I got a great deal on that, so there we go. Next up, Random Hold. Burn the Building. Sorry, I actually forgot for a moment what that one was called. So this is just the UK press on RCA Records. Nice texture sleeve. Sadly the corner's cut, but that's how it was advertised. Very keen on Random Hold. Can you describe them as prog rock? Could you describe them as post-punk? I think they would appeal to fans of both genres, quite frankly, and I'm a fan of both genres. I love their self-titled debut EP. So that's why I ended up getting that. This was a cheap purchase, so I tacked it onto the order of the other two there. This is Busy Corner by Chili Charles. I've tested a couple of tracks and it sounds great, kind of funky jazz. There's a lot of good session musicians on this one, so yeah, that should be very good. That's on Virgin Records. Original Two Twins label. Next we have Blood Rock. Their third album, Blood Rock 3. Again, I haven't played this yet. This is a UK release on Capitol Records, Green Target labels. So, when I ordered this one, it was advertised as VG, very good, on Discogs. I ordered it. The record turned up, it was absolutely, it was knackered, quite frankly. It looked unplayable. It was full of scratches, it had a big gouge in it. Not good, not a VG. I know you take a risk with VG gradings, but this was not a VG. This probably would have been fair, maybe good at best. So I asked the seller, can I send it back for a refund? Quite happy to return it. The seller, very apologetically, just refunded me. So the cover is actually not too bad. I've cleaned this up quite nicely, and I've found another copy on there, even cheaper, without a sleeve. That's turned up and it's fine. So, bit of good luck there. This one is Do I Know You by Mike Cooper. This is a UK first pressing on Dawn. I've got Mike's I don't know if it's his first album. The previous album to this is called Oh Really, which is quite just a standard bluesy record. It's good, but from what I understand, his later records are a bit more experimental, a bit more folky, a bit more jazzy. So this was a reasonable deal. Cover's a little bit warm, but the record is very nice. And finally, I am delighted to get this one. This one's a band called Fanny Adams. Now, this was never released in the UK. Well, as far as I'm aware, it didn't have a UK release. It was released in the US, Germany and Canada. Maybe somewhere else as well, maybe Japan or somewhere like that. And it's on that lovely Cap label. But this is a UK-based band, I think, with members from Australia and New Zealand, I believe. One of which I think was one of the in the original Bee Gees band. So great prog record, but the condition of it is jaw-droppingly good. I couldn't believe it when I opened it up. It was advertised as excellent plus mint minus, but the seller here really got it right. And the fact it's not a crazy rare record, but it just doesn't turn up in the UK because it was never released here. So in the United States, you'll probably find it relatively easily, but there was one here for sale and I had to grab it. And when it turned up, as you can see, it is beautiful. The disc itself looks unplayed, and to think that's half a century old. It blows me away sometimes how they can sort of turn up in such good state when they're that old. Absolutely great. So that's all from me. I'm going to be making more videos. I would love it if you are watching this, if you could hit the like button, subscribe. It's very early days yet with the views, very early days yet with the subscriptions, but there will be more. I'll probably do another one in a couple of weeks because I'm planning to go to a record fair. So that's everything for now. So take care and see you again soon.